want your business to go to another level. You must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Testing Results, yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Tony Harris Taylor. Testing Results, oh yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Drastic Franchise Connectors. My name is Tony Harris Taylor, and I am the CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, where I work with Zors to teach their Zs networking strategies so they can become the mayor of their town. I'm also a franchisee with Network in Action, where we bring business owners together to create connections, community collaborations, get some coaching so they can make more cash together. I am the founder and visionary of Multicultural Franchise Connectors, where we are helping more women and people of color and different cultural communities to come into franchising. And then lastly, I am a franchise broker to help you find your right fit franchise. Welcome to today's show. Today's show, we're going to talk about one of the paths to franchising in Multicultural Franchise Connectors, and that is becoming an employee of a franchise brand as well as or a franchisee. So some franchisees have multiple units, and so they operate as almost as a franchisor, so they have large employee bases themselves. But how do we get to becoming an employee of a franchise brand? Well, I will tell you, if you hadn't guessed it, it's probably networking. You probably need to know someone who knows someone that is already in franchising. And why did I make that one of the tenets of Multicultural Franchise Connectors, or one of the paths? Because in June 2024, I went to a conference in Atlanta, and some of you have heard this story, but it bears repeating. I went to a conference in Atlanta, and there were 400 people at that conference. Remember, it's in Atlanta. 2.5 Blacks. 2.5. No Hispanics. A few Indians. And I'm like, what is happening here in franchising that we can fill a room with 400 people and there are not enough people of color? And this particular event was primarily home office people. They weren't the franchisees. In fact, I haven't even found an event that caters to franchisees yet, which is coming, by the way. But they were the home office people. I'm like, why aren't home office people more diverse? And so I said, well, that's going to be one of the paths that we're going to fill with the Multicultural Franchise Connector. So not everybody's meant for entrepreneurship. It takes a certain kind of human being to be an entrepreneur, and a little wacky. Trust me, I'm talking about myself. And so if you want to work a corporate job, did you know you could get a corporate job at a franchise brand? And there's over 4,000 franchises out there, and some of them are huge brands, which my guest works for, Authority Brands. And so he's going to tell us his story, how he got to being a corporate employee. And then we're going to talk a little bit about his brands. David Montanez, I met at a franchise conference a few weeks back, and we instantly connected. And when I said what I'm doing with MFC, he's like, let's talk. And so I invited him to be a guest on today's show. So we're going to take a quick break and be back with my guest, David Montanez of Authority Brands. All right, welcome back. My guest, David Montanez, with Vice President of Franchise Development with Authority Brands. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Tony. What a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. I'm so glad to have you here. Tell us what you do in your own words for Authority Brands.
Awesome. So, I have the pleasure of working with an excellent sales team. I am the Vice President of Franchise Development at Authority Brands. There's actually two of us. We have 14 brands collectively at Authority Brands. I have franchise development responsibility for eight of those brands. And my counterpart Josh Minturn has the other six in resale. So we work really well with our team. We work to, as I like to say, identify, attract, and award franchises to folks who are interested and who have the passion to work with our brands to help the businesses grow.
I love that. And a shout out to Rachel and Chad. They're
Rachel and
my
Chad.
first top two favorite Authority Brands. We'll talk about them after the next break.
Mhm.
But I was so impressed when I saw you because let's face it, you're an anomaly being a Latino gentleman in franchising. So tell me your backstory. How did you get to franchising?
It's really funny. I took the long way in, if you would. I took the roundabout. I started in business. I was originally from New York City. Families from Puerto Rico came to
Mm.
New York City, and I started working in business. I started working with a company called International Paper. Loved it. Had a 20-year career, but I did a lot of traveling. I'm a Delta 2 million miler, and I figured it was time to put that to end. I got to put that to rest. So after 20 plus years at that, I took a year off and came back, and someone said you should go look at a company here in town called Service Master. And one of the things that I loved about your intro was that you don't have to be a franchisee to be part of the franchise company, the franchisor, right? It's you have certain skills. I had sales skills, I had planning skills, I had logistical skills, all coming from another industry that brought me to Service Master, and then subsequently brought me to here at Authority Brands when Service Master left Memphis to go to Atlanta. Nothing wrong with Atlanta; it's a great town, but I had at the time a 7-year-old grandson, and I wasn't leaving him behind in Memphis, so I stayed. And sure enough, I wound up working with Authority Brands because of, as you pointed out, a network connection with someone at Service Master who wound up at Authority Brands, said, "Hey, come join me at Authority Brands," and here I am.
Ah, that networking really
That
does
networking.
work. Now, you also heard in my monologue that I was at a conference, two and a half
Hmm.
black out of
Yeah.
400. Why do you think more people of color haven't embraced or don't? I guess we just don't know what we don't know about franchising.
Yeah, and I think it's more of that. I think that we're really starting to understand what franchising is. A lot of folks look at franchising and still think it's all about fast food. It's a McDonald's, it's a Chick-fil-A, and it's really not much. Franchising is everything that you can think of in every job across, whether it's cleaning carpets, whether it's getting your hair cut. It's more than just food, and it really takes time to get that message across. And then the other thing is, from our side, we have to do as franchisor a better job of opening our doors to women and minorities to help them grow and understand. That's one of the things I love about where I am at Authority Brands, our ability to offer discounts, our ability to work and target to expand the diversity. This country will change. This country is changing, and we have to accept more and more differences. And we have to make sure that people understand there is a home for you here, there is an opportunity here. And if you can follow the systems, you can do well. And those are the conversations that we're having literally every day. And it's a wonderful feeling to see because we're starting to attract more and more women and people of diversity into our networks, and it's quite nice to see. And some of them are E2 visa candidates, and some of them are coming in, who are crossing over a brand that they have no idea. I have folks coming into our trades, plumbing, electrical, HVAC. who don't know which end of the screwdriver to hold, but they can see the business opportunity and they can sit there and say, I can manage people, I can follow a system, I can do this.
So that's a great point, because we are going to talk about some brands after the break that are not sexy, but
Oh,
I'm educating all of my candidates. You're not the doer.
hmm.
You are the owner. You hire doers.
Correct.
And there are people who will do everything. If people will stand on the corner and twirl a sign, they'll do a whole lot of other things as well.
Correct.
So understanding that when you buy into a home service brand, you don't have to have all of the experience. You got to be aware, so you
Hmm.
can hire to it. Um, but you don't have to be the wrench turner or the screwdriver holder. And that's what I'm so excited about, the trade brands and bringing them to more of our different communities. The other community I'm working with is millennials,
Yes.
the young
Hmm.
people and the Gen Zers, because they want to be entrepreneurs out the gate.
Hmm.
And the other thing is that generation aren't, they definitely aren't the screwers. They need to become that, because they can make more money than those who go to college.
Yep.
So I love what you're doing, and I'm loving that authority has their sights set on the demographic
Absolutely.
changes. And so our timing is perfect, sir. What you think?
Absolutely. This is perfect for what we're trying to do. And we will see more and more enter our businesses. And I think it's just great for all of us.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. So what do you love about franchise?
Oh, I think it's the ability to follow the system so that you can achieve success. You work hard today. If you don't have your own business, you're working hard in corporate America, in the small business America, and you're working hard for someone else. Many of you are putting in hours, 12-hour days consistently to try and do something for the company. And yet you have the opportunity to put in the same amount of time, that same energy for something for you. And that's what I love about franchising. It's that opportunity that if you follow the system, work hard, you can make it successful for you, which in turns means you make a success for your family and for others who are out there that you can lift up because you're going to need employees. Those employees one day may turn out to buy your business.
Absolutely. That is a great point as well. When you buy these, especially home trade, I'm really, really, I'm all in on the home trade
Hmm.
business.
Absolutely.
So when you buy these trades, you get to hire people, teach them a marketable skill so
Hmm.
that they can then create wealth for their family. And the other thing that's missing in our communities is the conversation about how franchising can create wealth. In all your years, have you seen that?
Absolutely. And you can, it is such a joy to see folks come back 3, 4 years later who have turned into this business professional, who have come back and said, I'm not sure I knew which way to hold that screwdriver, but I do know how to run this business, and this business is now bearing fruit for me and my family. And you can just see the maturity. You can just see the business acumen get better. You can see the conversation progress to one that says, I need to do this for the betterment of not just me and my family, but for my employees, for my community. Those things are life changing and they're wonderful impacts to what is happening around us. And it's just a great thing to see and witness.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come
Mhm.
back and talk about my two favorite authority brands. And it's only my favorite right now because I haven't got to know the other 12, but I've already, um, y'all know I don't meet a stranger, but I've already fallen in love with a couple of the development people at
Yes.
the two brands that I'm talking about. So let's take a quick break and we'll be back with my guest, David Montanez. Are you a corporate renegade? That is someone who is frustrated with the rat race of corporate, or maybe you were recently laid off of your job. or perhaps you're an entrepreneur looking for your next stream of income. Hi, my name is Tony Harris Taylor, and I want to invite you to have a conversation with me about how franchising, becoming a franchise owner, can take your life and business to the next level. It did for me. I purchased my franchise in 2019, turned around my primary business, and now I want to help others to do the same. Hop on my calendar and let's chat about how franchising can take your life and your business to the next level. Talk to you soon. All right, we are back with my guest, David Montanez. David, did you say Authority was out of Memphis?
I am out of Memphis. Authority is headquartered out of Columbia, Maryland. So they're located out of Columbia, Maryland. We have, because of the 14 brands, some of those were through acquisitions. They have local areas such as in Phoenix and Denver and the like. I just happen to stay in Memphis because my grandson's here.
I love that. That's what keeps me in Houston, my grandkids. Child, I'd be out of here in a New York minute if it wasn't for the babies and my mama. All right, so let's talk about my two favorite brands. So I'm actually, because I am new as a consultant, I'm going to describe the brand and see if you can see if I'm doing a good job. I'm going to see if you can guess the brand.
Awesome.
A game, right? So I'm just now learning, and you can correct me when we're done. Okay. The first brand that I love is what people would, in the past, consider a luxury, but is very much a necessity. It helps busy moms and just people in general. It is recurring revenue. The average franchisee in this brand makes $2.5 million, something like that,
Gross sales. Correct.
And it is just it's something that I wish I had. But what do you think it is?
Well done. Well done. That is truly TCA, and we're very happy about that, obviously.
Okay.
That's one of our
favorites. That's lingo. My audience.
I'm sorry. That is true. It is the cleaning authority. So residential home cleaning and services, similar to maid service, if you will, but it includes windows and carpets and things like that. There is some opportunity for some commercial as well, but we really on the residential home services, focusing in on making sure that today's very busy individuals come home to a very clean, neat home, something that just provides them safety. And just there's something about coming home to a clean made home that's just so relaxing. It's just so good and so nice. My wife just loves the service here, and I'll tell you that, we'll come back from a trip and the home has been made clean, and it's a wonderful feeling.
It's a wonderful feeling.
It is.
And it used to be a luxury. Only the rich had people cleaning their homes. But today, well, I look at my daughter. She's got 2 babies, and even though she's a housewife, the bottom of the list is laundry and cleaning up, because you've got to pay attention to these children. So it is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity, and it's monthly recurring revenue. And did y'all hear the number? To the tune of over $2 million is the average, right? We're not making income claims here, so I'll put that out there, because you got to still go get your clients and work it.
Absolutely.
But what is its potential. And that's what I love. Okay, let's play another one. One more. All right, this one. Monthly recurring income. Very unusual. I think it's for busy people as well. It's for people who have pets. So that's a hint. So which one is that?
That is our favorite duty calls. It is one of my favorites. So you talk about reoccurring revenue. Let's face it, Fido goes to the restroom every day. and has to be picked up every day. I keep telling everyone about duty calls that if you look at it and just took away the description and just said, here's a business where there is consistent need. Here's a business that is a service that is provided with limited competition, because most of the competition is the teenage son or daughter who really doesn't want to do it but is doing it for allowance. And yet it's a marketplace that if you don't do it, something bad happens to you. You're going to step in it, literally. And you can get this all done reoccurring every week, twice, every other week if you wish. And all of that comes along. And everybody would say, that's a great business. That's a great opportunity. What is it? And then when you say, well, it's dog pet waste removal, they all look at you with the, huh? And it's like, really?
Like the dogs do, huh?
Exactly, exactly. But if you could get rid of, if you can get past all of the jokes, and they're like, we've heard them all, right? We're the number one and the number two business. Like, we've heard it all, right? We've heard them all. What a great business model. Reoccurring revenue, very simple to do, right? It's really about logistics and moving people and equipment to pick it up. And at the end of the day, you have a business that someone else needs that very few want to do. What a great business opportunity.
The FDD says $1.1 million is the average.
That's correct.
Franchisee. 3 million is the top franchise. Listen, y'all, I'm gonna sell this brand. I actually pitched it last night. So it is definitely, it makes perfect sense. And here's the real kicker. You can get into it for less than $100,000.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Come on, y'all. Recurring revenue. So somebody watching this is going to call me and say, Tony, let's talk about duty calls, because it has to happen. And there, again, back to the sign twirler, there are people who will take that job. You are not the pooper scooper. Okay? You will hire pooper scoopers, and some retirees want that work. Kids, the college students want that work. Some people just want mindless work. They're like, I don't want to think about nothing. Just go do this. And I'm excited about that one. So, and we didn't mention, how much is it to get into the cleaning authority approximately?
So there are two options. There's the enterprise market and the hometown market. What I tell everybody else is that you should expect to come into it with about $150,000 for the hometown, about $200,000 for the enterprise market. I think it's 205 to be exact, but close enough. And that's to get you up and running, get the business up and running, and get you going, get the marketing done. Remember, the big approach to TCA is the marketing, and then you can go ahead and work the business with them in terms of sales and those other opportunities. And by the way, we do the marketing for you. So those leads will come to you so that you're able to close them and work us through, and we will teach you the whole process of how to get to that yes so that you can move on.
Awesome. I love that. Now, I'm not going to contradict you, David, but I always tell candidates, yes, they're going to do the marketing, but you still got to get your butt out there.
Oh, absolutely. You have to close.
And trust that network so that people
100%.
trust you to come into their homes. So
100%. Yes,
awesome.
Tony, you are not contradicting me at all. That is 100%, right? Guys, you're working today hard for other people. You're doing things that you should sometimes come home and go, I can't believe I just did that. How about you just say, I can't believe I just did that for my own business. I did it for my family and for my employees, right? So yes, you're going to be the mayor of the town. You're going to be at the Kiwanis Club. You're going to be in small business meetings. You're going to do all of those things, because no matter how great your business is, if nobody knows it's there, no one's going to call you. So you've got to promote it, network it, talk to strangers, because guess what? You never know when the next customer's coming.
All right. So on that note, how has networking helped you in your business? You already talked about networking got you to authority, but how has networking helped you in your business?
That is the number one. I'll tell you how this works out for us. From a business perspective, it is number one thing to do. We always recommend that when you come on board, you find the nearest neighboring franchisee, go get a cup of coffee, start talking with them, because you don't have to reinvent this wheel by yourself. That networking helps you. They have contacts and friends. Hey, this is the first time that you're doing this. It's your first job. You'd be surprised how many will say, I'll come along with you. Let's just sit down and go through it. And you have a cup of coffee and you figure out how best to do it. Right. And those are the things that help. That's what makes franchising so good. There's a system, but there's others around you who want you to succeed. Everyone who owns a TCA wants the next TCA to succeed because it's great for the brand. So they will network and call. What you can't be is shy. Don't be shy. Pick up the phone, walk and go see them, knock on the door, but you really can help. Networking has helped the franchisees. Well, me personally, I'm standing here because of that networking process, because I was able to sit down and have a good conversation with someone who said, hey, you've got the skill set that we're looking for. Come on in. If I didn't ever pick up the phone, I would have never had it.
All right. And number 2 question, what's the biggest drastic step that David has taken in his life or business?
For me, it was actually starting with Service Master. I could have gone back to the paper industry. I could have left it I could have left international paper and taken a domestic job somewhere else. But it was the idea of doing something different. The idea of saying, I can take all of my years of experience and put that into a franchisor and help the franchisees grow a business, develop it. That's wonderful. There is something about making sure you can help people grow that's just phenomenal. And those are the things that are really important to me. So the biggest step for me was getting out of my comfort. I could have done paper for a long, long time. Instead, it was taking that leap and saying, I don't know a whole lot about the restoration business, but here I go. And you know what? It turns out that profit and loss is the same. Profit and loss, you run a P&L statement. You get to find out what are the drivers, what moves it, and you do more of the things that give you more profit, and you do less of the things that give you losses. But it's working together and being able to just say, I'm going to take my skills that I know and go into an industry that I know nothing about, but I've got the foundation to build on, and it really does work.
Awesome. Well, I'm so grateful that you took the time to come and meet with me just on my word. Like, you don't know me yet, but I feel like this is going to be a long-term connection and relationship, and we together are going to help more people of color and women and other cultures come in to franchising. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
So I'll put my name in, but it's D Montanez at authoritybrandsllc.com. And I'll tell you also, my phone number is 361-413-6411. Despite my wife saying that it is surgically attached to my hand, it is not, but I promise I'll call you back quickly.
All right. Excellent. Thank you so much, David, for taking 30 minutes of your life to share your story and to educate our audience about Authority Brands. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with my final thoughts.
If you think franchising isn't for you, think again. Here's how Multicultural Franchise Connectors is changing the game. At Multicultural Franchise Connectors, we believe in the power of diversity to transform the franchising industry. Our mission? To empower underserved multicultural communities with the knowledge, resources, and connections they need to confidently explore franchising opportunities. Did you know that less than 15% of franchisees are minority-owned? But we're not stopping there. MFC's 4 Paths guide successful business owners in franchising their operations, help potential franchisees interested in purchasing franchise businesses, support business owners to supply their services to franchises, or assist individuals to secure employment opportunities within franchise corporate offices. MFC is designed to break down barriers and open doors. Through comprehensive workshops, mentorship programs, networking events, and expert consultations, we're paving pathways to economic empowerment and community growth. And come 2027, we'll be offering grants to help you secure the financial support you need. Join us today and become part of a thriving multicultural franchise community. Visit multiculturalfranchise.org for more information. Empower your future. Empower your community. Together, we're making franchising dreams a reality.
All right, so as you heard in the video, one of the paths to franchising is to work for a corporate entity like David Montanez. And so I actually referred David to someone in my network who is looking for a job. That's how it works. Networking works. Okay, so if you're interested in working in corporate, hit me up. Let me see who I know, who I can introduce you to that can open the door for you to possibly have a job. But then also Authority Brands, I'm quickly becoming a fan. And them two brands I told you about, we was not playing about those numbers. And I'm seriously thinking about duty calls for myself. So let's see what happens, right? You never know. If you are wanting to know more about franchising, download my ebook at drasticfranchise.com, and you can download the ebook. You can get on my calendar. Again, that is drasticfranchise.com. Thank you so much for watching. Sharing is caring. Please don't hesitate to share this video. And if you're in the franchise community and you want to be on my show, LinkedIn me and let's chat. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow, and let's connect soon. Bye.